Hey buddies, how we doing? How we doing today? All right. So, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. This channel is focused on cybersecurity related topics in a lab format. So, what we doing today? Okay, we're on a Kali machine here, 2022.2. We're going to be digging into this book called Kali Linux Penetration Bible. So, I'm thinking about doing like a chapter, a video for each chapter. So chapter 1's going to be mastering the terminal window in Linux. So that's what we're going to be starting off with. I personally started my Linux journey with like Linux Mint, Ubuntu, kind of ventured into CentOS for the Red Hat flavor, but eventually landed in security, and we're kind of following the book. So that's why we're starting here in Linux, in Kali. So do what you want to do. This is Debian flavor. That's what we're going to be on. So any Kali, Ubuntu, Linux Mint, those are all Debian flavor. It really doesn't matter. So what matters is just let's get this mastering the terminal window. That's really what matters here. So let's dig in. We're going to start off with some little keyboard convenience things, some keyboard tactics and tricks. So let's get into it. So here we are. Here's our terminal window here. So the first one is Control L to clear the screen here. So if you got a bunch of mess up here and you just want to clear it out, Control L will do that for you. To zoom in, Control Shift plus to zoom in, Control minus to zoom out, Control Shift T to get a new terminal window there. Control Shift plus to zoom that in. I'm zoomed in so you guys can see a little easier. But anyways, you know, not everybody's eyes are perfect. But anyways, those are a few keyboard shortcuts on the terminal window there. So this next topic, some people don't like it. It's called tmux. I didn't like it at first, but you're gonna come to love it. Okay, so just hang in there. So what is tmux? It allows you to manage multiple windows in your current terminal session. So trust me, guys. I mean, your girlfriend's gonna be like, "Oh my God, you use tmux? Marry me
Ooh
now."
la la.
Okay, that's how sexy it is. Trust me. Okay, they're gonna be flocking all over you. But anyways, let's close out this terminal window and clear the screen here. Control L. We got to set up a few things, some configuration with tmux. You don't have to do this, but it just makes it easier because the default is Control B to run anything on the keyboard. Control B. We're going to change that, bind the Control A. If you're a little confused, you'll understand soon. So let's dig into this configuration of tmux here. So we're going to start by doing a touch. Touch is how you make files. So we're going to go ahead and touch a file in the etc folder and name it tmux.conf. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, then we're going to echo unbind. Oh, let me put this in quotes. Unbind C, and then put that into that folder that we just made. Oh, hang on, if I could focus. Okay. Okay, put that in there first, and then we're going to want to, so we're unbinding the Control B. It's kind of awkward to put your fingers like that. Trust me, you'll see soon. Then we're gonna set it to Control A here. Okay, set G prefix. Okay, then one more, guys. Hang in there. One more. We're gonna do bind. And to get to your previous command, you just press the up key. So, alright, so bind Control A to send prefix. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now to start the tmux session, we're gonna run the tmux command. If you don't have tmux, you can just do an apt install tmux, or you can do apt search tmux, see if you got it, or sudo apt install tmux if you're not on the root account. We're on the root account, so we don't need to add the sudo. We'll explain that later. Okay, so to hop into the tmux session here, we do tmux new -S, and we could just do like play here. Okay, so here's our tmux session here. As you can see here, the blue line shows up. The star is which session or which window we're in. You could change windows. You could rename them. So to rename them, you press Control A. Remember how we did that? And then comma to rename the window. So on the bottom there, you just run a test. Okay, so we named our window test. For a new window creation, Control AC. So as you can see here, we got 2 windows here, 0 and 1. To flip between each one, you can do Control A0, Control A1. So we're flipping through both of them. That's how you do it in tmux. So remember how we unbound the Control B? The Control A is just easier to just, you know, because you get your little pinky on the control and the A right there. It's kind of an extension for the Control B. That's the default in tmux. So that's why we did that configuration at the beginning. So anyways, let's move on. To split the windows, we're going to do Control A, Shift 5, or Control A, %. That's how you split the panes vertically here. If we want to split the panes horizontally, Control A, double quotes. To move between the windows here, Control A up arrow to go up, Control A left, Control A right, Control A down, Control A left, Control A double quotes to get that horizontal split going there, looking beautiful. So this is going to really help you if you got a lot of tasks going on. You know, if you're like, if we're trying to, you know, pull up a netcat, pull up netcat real quick, listener, you know, and then we need to come on over here and do like an SMB server. You want to roll that up and just have that run in the back. If that kind of confuses you, but you'll understand soon as we continue on through this book here. But that is tmux in a nutshell. Let me exit. If you want to exit these windows, you just do exit. And that's really mostly all you need to know. There is one more thing. Scrolling. Scrolling is kind of weird. You cannot use your mouse wheel. So it's just going to scroll through commands here. So let's just do an example here. Let's do like cat, Etsy, password here. Okay, so you can't scroll up. It's kind of annoying. So the way to do that is Control A, left bracket, and then page up, page down. You can also scroll here. So that's basically all you need to know. And then you press Q to get out, to quit that view. And that is pretty much tmux. There's a lot more to tmux, but that's pretty much, that'll get you going, all right? So that's what you need to get you going with some tmux. Okay, so practice with that. It's going to feel awkward at first. You're like, Control A, what? %, what the hell? But just continue to drill that, and trust me, you get full control from your keyboard. So it's really awesome. Okay, all right, moving on. So let's, okay, next thing in the book was to add a new user. Let's go ahead and go over that. So to add a new user in Linux, you do the user add command here. Okay, so user add, and then we're going to make a directory for him with the -m. Then you specify the account name here. Let's just name it like Pikachu. And then what group they're going to be on. Let's give them sudo privileges. So we'll put them in the sudo group so they got that power. And then what shell do we want them to have? We'll just do bin/z shell, or you can do bin/bash. I'm on a Z shell right now. It's got some convenience things to it, but whatever your heart desires for the shell. But okay. All right, so we added that user Pikachu. So usually you're going to want to give that user a password as well. You know, got to be secure, Pikachu. So password Pikachu. Okay, let's specify that. It could be anything you want. Okay, so Pikachu has a password. Pikachu's in the sudo group and has the Z shell. So if we want to switch to Pikachu, you can do the SU switch user Pikachu like so. Okay, so now we're on Pikachu. See this? It changes to blue here. Pikachu's a user. The name of the box, the name of this machine here is Kali. So you probably already knew that, but if you didn't, that's what that means. Okay, so let's switch back to root here. I just wanted to show you how to switch users. Okay, back on the root account here. Moving on to the next one, sudo L. Actually, let's go back to Pikachu real quick. Okay, so if you run the command sudo, let's clear this up. Run the command sudo -L. Okay, put in the password for Pikachu. It's going to show you what pseudo privileges this account has, this Pikachu account. So as we can see here, user Pikachu may run the following commands on Kali everything. We put them in the sudo group, so they can run anything with sudo. So sudo command. So they pretty much have root privileges. So anyways, moving on. And then you can type in ID for more information, the ID number, group number, what groups they're in. See, we added them to the sudo group there when we made the account, so you can see that kind of information with the ID command. That'll be useful, you know, when you're on a fresh account. You know, maybe you hacked a machine, you're on an account, you want to see, you know, what the ID is, what groups they're in, and then sudo L to see what privileges they could, what commands they can run, what privileges they have. So super useful commands here in your pen testing career, if that's what you want to do. It's my hobby personally, but okay, moving back to the root account here. Okay, let's clear the screen. Okay, the next command is W. So this is going to show you who is logged in. So as we can see, root is logged in here. Another useful one is last. So this is going to show you, like, this is a useful command for like who was last logged in and what times they were logged in. These, see, still logged in. So useful information. Like I said, Control A left bracket to scroll around, and that. So that is the last command. Okay, moving on. If you want to delete a user, like that Pikachu, you could do user delete and then Pikachu. He's being used by a process right now, but that's how you would do it. User delete Pikachu. Okay, moving on. Okay, let's dig into this key file you need to know for security. If you want, like for Linux, for anything Linux, this is a key file you got to know. It's the etc password file. So if we go ahead and cat that out, it's going to show all the users in this file on the machine. So if we do a cat, not car, cat etc password there. These are all the users. Some of these users have no login, like service accounts, machine accounts. So we want to, let's filter out the human users. So the human users usually have like Z shell or bin/bash. They're able to actually log in and run commands and whatnot. So to filter that down, we do a cat just like so, and then we do pipe that. So we take this command here and we output it into this command, which is going to be grep is like a, it filters out data that you want to see. So we want to only see the bin/bash accounts here, and we only have one, the Postgres database, because, you know, Z shell. Okay, we got many users that are using the Z shell, so we're going to add this. And as we can see here, root, Kali, and Pikachu had that Z shell. These are your human users here, root, Kali, Pikachu. Okay, so that's how you kind of manipulate the data with grep, but we'll be digging more into like cut and awk later, but that's how you do it. Okay, so let's create a new group. How do you make groups in Kali? Okay, we do group add. We could do like hackers, and if you want to add a user to that group, let's add Pikachu to that group. Okay, so user mod -ag, and then the group name, so hackers, and then the username Pikachu. Okay, so if we switch back over to Pikachu here and then run an ID command, and we can see here he's in the hackers group now. So that's how you add users to groups. So there you go, could be useful. Let's clear this up real quick. Okay, moving on. To check the groups, if you want to check the groups, you can do the cat etc password, or not password, group, and that will show you all the groups here. You can see hackers. Each user in Linux have their own group to themselves, but you can add them to other groups too. Hackers, so Pikachu's in there. So is sudo in here? Let's see. Oh, hang on. So yep, there's a sudo group. Kali and Pikachu are in that one. So that's how you check that group information out. Okay, moving on to some more basic stuff here. To list what's in the current directory, use the ls. My favorite switches are just the la here. List everything pretty much like this. Okay. So the A is all, list all, so everything. So these dots, the ones that start with a dot, they're usually hidden files. So the A switch will show everything, all these hidden files here that start with a dot. So you're maybe wondering what's going on the left here. That looks kind of weird. What in the world is this? Huh? Okay. So the D specifies that it's a directory. You can see the blue there, meaning it's a directory. It may not always be blue, depending on your shell, your customization and whatnot. Okay, so this first part, read, write, execute. This is for the owner of the directory. And then this next part is group privileges, read and execute. So the group here, see, here's the owner, here's the group, and then the last section of 3, read and execute for everyone, for others, for all. So that is how privileges work in Linux. I won't dig too far into that. We got a lot to go over, so that's just a basic overview of it. More on permissions here. Let's do an example so I can kind of show you. Okay. So let's make a directory named playground here. Oh, hang on. Did I make that? Okay, we'll just name it. We named it play. So we'll just go ahead and cd into play there. Okay, so let's make a like a simple script here. Nothing fancy. So we're just gonna get echo. I love Linux. We'll echo that. Actually, we want to run the echo command in there. Okay, and we're going to output that to a file named test.sh, signifying that's a script, shell script here. Okay, so let's do the ls-la again. Okay, so it's a script. So like scripts need to run, right? They need to execute. So as we can see here, there's no X here for the owner, the group, or the everyone. They can't execute this. So let's go ahead and change these permissions to this file so we can allow it to execute. Okay, so we do a chmod on that. 774. What is this 774? Or let's just do 744. Okay, so 7. Okay, so read is 4, write is 2, execute is 1. So 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7. So we're given the user, the owner of this test.shell, which the owner's root, we're giving them full privileges to read, write, and execute. The group is also root. We're giving them read-only, and everyone, we're giving them read-only. Okay, on this test.shell. So let's go ahead and run that, and then do ls -al, and as we see, it's green now, and the owner of the file can execute this test.sh. So if we want to run that, you could do a ./test right there, and I love Linux. That was our script there. You can cat this like that. See, we're just echoing I love Linux. Demonstration purposes, very simple script. So I just want to show you kind of how privileges work. You can also, if you want everyone to, if you want to specify that everyone can run this test.sh, you can also do a chmod. You can do like a, what was it? Everyone can execute. So you could do OX. I think that's how you do it. Let me make sure. Yeah, okay. So O is others. See, we got the X right here now for everyone, others. So everyone can run this. Pikachu can run this now. Okay, so that's how you change privileges. That was super quick on that. So hope you're keeping up. If not, just there's tons of videos online about how to set up permissions in Linux. But we got to go quick here, guys. We got to master this terminal window. Okay. Okay, moving on to manipulating files in Kali. Okay, so as we mentioned earlier, how do we make a file? Let's just make a simple file like name it hey file. Okay, so that's how you make a file. Right there, we can see hey file, empty file here. The 0 here actually signifies that the size of the file, so nothing. It's just an empty file. That's how you make a file. Okay, so if we want to add text to that file, we can run like an echo add text. So like this is hey file, and then just a single tick over to hey file, and that will echo that text into that file. As we can see here, we could do a cat hey file. This is hey file. If you want to add more to that file, you could do like a echo let's add more. And then if we want to add more, if you just do a single tick, it's going to overwrite the file completely. So very important if you want to just add more to it, append more text. Let's add more. So you do the double arrows there, and then hey file there. And as we can see here, hey file has added let's add more here. And that's how you kind of do some basic file manipulation here. If you want to see the file, like what kind of file this is, it's ASCII text here, back to ls-al. It's 30 now, 30 size, 30 bytes, so a little more size on that, as you can see. Okay, to copy the file, if we maybe want to copy things, so cp hey file, and let's copy it to the previous directory. You do .. so the previous directory, which would be the home root directory. And then we could copy it. We can name it the same thing. If you just want to name it the same thing, you can just do it like that. Or if you want to rename it, then you could just add what you want to rename it to right here. And it'll rename it, copy it, and rename it in the previous directory. So if we go back to the previous directory here, we can see this hey file has been copied over. So let's go ahead and remove that, clean up the mess a little bit, and then go back into our play directory here. If we want to move this file, we could do move hey file into the previous directory. That's just going to move it and get rid of it from this current directory. So we could do that, back to the previous directory, and there's the hey file. If we go back to play, it's no longer there. So let's go back to previous directory. If we want to rename that file, so we could do move hey file, and then let's name it new name, and that's how you can move it. Use the move command to also rename files. So as you can see here, it's now new name. We can cat that, and there it is. Okay, let's move it back to our a little play directory here, just to stay organized, and then let's cd back into the play directory. Okay, clear the screen. Okay, if we want to remove that file, just the simple rm command there, and remember we renamed it to new name. We can remove it with the rm command, and it's gone. So that's some basic file manipulation. So now we're moving on to searching for files. How do we search for files? The most basic one, easy to start off with, is locate, the locate command. So let's locate password. Okay, so it's gonna be a little messy. So let's clean that up a little bit, and let's do locate. You can just if you want to view the top of it, you can run that same command, and then just do like a head -10, so you can get the top ones here. Usually the ones that you want to see are up top. So as we can see here, this is what we wanted to see. It's in the Etsy path here. So that will show you the top 10 lines of this output here. The pipe, super key to learn the pipe. So powerful. Okay, if we want to, that's how you view the top 10 there. You can also run like wildcards. You can do like locate, this wildcard anything. The star means anything. And then you can head the top 10 of that if you want. Okay, so here files anything with .conf on the end of it. That's how you view kind of locate those kind of files to really clean up the data. Okay, let's see here. Find application path. If we want to find the path of the application, we can run the which command. So if you want to know if like a program's on the machine quickly, which Python will tell you that information. So the Python command, Python is on this, as we can see in the user bin folder. Okay, so Linux file system, it uses this $path. That's how it executes the commands and the binaries. So if we type down $path here, these are the paths. So like when you run a command like cat, like list, like ls, like rm, like cp, those are being executed from one of these paths here. So that's why we can't just straight up execute test.sh. This script we made earlier, that's why it can't find that command in this path, in one of these paths. So if we want to run test.sh as a command, we can simply move test.sh into one of these paths here. So dash user dash bin here, move it there, and we can run this as a command straight up. Oh, if I can type it right. Okay, see? Now it's running our script here. I love Linux because we moved it in one of these paths here. Does that make sense? Okay, let's move it back. So what was it? User bin. Let's get it back out of there. Let's move it back to our current directory. Okay. All right. So the next finding how to locate files in Linux, a very useful one. You can kind of dig more into it, get more granular with your outputs. It's the find command, just straight up find. Okay, so your most basic find command, like let's search in the root directory for you do a dash name for a file name test.sh. And it's going to try to find one, and it did eventually find. It found a few others too in this directory, but here's the file we made. So that's how you kind of find files. If you want to find, you can also like list large files, like anything that's at least 1 gig. So how would we do that? Okay, so we could do find in the root and everything. If you just do a dash, it's everything on the machine, and then do size plus 1 gig. So this is how you're going to find like big files. And then all the errors, we're going to drop them in this no man's land, this nowhere world called /dev/null. So all the error, all the output, all the errors that you get from this output, it's going to push them into the dev null to clean up your output a lot more. So we're going to let this roll here, and let's see what we can find. Okay, we found a few files here. Here's the crypto mining PCAP from our last lab and KCore. So we got some big files here. That's how you, if you want to quickly find the big ones and get rid of them, that's how you do it. Okay, another useful find command is going to be finding the permission that have this thing called a sudo bit on them, so they're able to run as root with root privileges. So this is going to be a useful command for like privilege escalation down the road here. So you could do /perm for permissions, user equals s, and then we're going to do a type. This is going to be file, F for file, and then let's put all the error messages in the dev null here. Okay, so quite the output here. This is going to be useful for privilege escalation in the future, finding which files have that sudo bit set, and they're able to run as root with root privileges. So useful command there. You'll see why that's useful later down the road. So moving on to file compression. Okay, there's a confusion here with tar and compression. Tar is not really compression. It's just an archive. So they call them tar balls when you make them because you're just attaching a bunch of files to one file. So here, we can make a few files here. So let's make like touch, file 1, file 2, file 3. Okay, so we're just going to make these 3 files here, and we're going to put them in a tar ball. Okay, so to do that, let's go back to the previous directory. So we're going to tar up play. Okay, archive play into one file with all those files in it. Okay, so to do that, we run the tar command and then create file, and then we what do we want to name it? So we can just name it play.tar here, and then the directory. So play. Okay, we're going to run that ls. So now we have our tar ball here, all tarred up, but it's not compressed yet. So if we want to compress it, we do cfz and then play.tar, play.tar.gz, and then play.tar, the actual file of the play.tar. Okay, so let's do ls on that. Okay, as you can see here, play.tar is just archiving everything, and then we're compressing it. See the size here? Significantly lower. Okay, so what if we want to extract this GZ here? So if we want to extract the GZ here, we do tar xfz. So tar xfz play.tar.gz here. And actually, let's remove this play.tar here, and then run that same command here, so you can kind of get a better visual. Okay, so we removed play.tar so you could see it, and so it was removed. This was gone, and then we extracted this play.tar.gz into a play.tar. So if we want to unarchive the play.tar, the way to do that is xf on that. So you can do a tar xf play.tar, and then there you go, guys. Actually, to show you that more clearly, let's remove the play. So you do to remove directories, you do dash or rm-r and then play. Let's remove that. Okay, so the play is gone, and then we're gonna extract it, list it, and then it is extracted. Here's our directory, and here are all our files. Okay, like I said, that's how you archive, compress, decompress, and extract files from tarballs. So quite the process there. Definitely gonna need some practice with that, guys. So, but we're going quick here. We gotta go quick. Okay, some basic stuff. Going through directories here. So let's make a new directory here. Name playground. Okay, so if we want to kind of go through directories quickly, like previous ones, I kind of showed you guys this in the past one. Dash to go back one directory. Dash to go back two directories. So we're in the everything folder here. So that's a kind of nice little trick to move around in the file system here. Okay, to copy, remove and move directories. Okay, so to do that, we could do copy -r playground, and we can just move that previous directory. So if we go back to the previous directory, we'll have the playground here, as you can see. So that's copy on that. We can go ahead and remove that. To remove it, rm-r recursive. That means recursively. So everything in this directory we want to copy, and we want to remove in this case because we don't need it anymore. Okay. And the same thing with move. Move-r to recursively move everything, and to recursively change the name of everything of that directory. Okay. All right, so mounting a USB or drive, that's what we're going to be digging into next. Let me go ahead and pop a USB into my machine here so we can demonstrate. Okay, so I am on VMware Workstation. So when you pop a USB device in, it's going to be connect to the host, like the PC, the host machine, or connect to the virtual machine. We're on a virtual machine here. So we're going to go ahead and click on Clone of Cali 2022. Okay, so to view our drives here, we do ls blk. Okay, so here's our main drive here, SDA, and these are the different partitions. 1, 2, 3. These are all the same disk. These are different partitions on that disk. And we have another one here. This is our USB here, a separate disk, SDB, and then here's its partition here. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new directory here, just to kind of organize this a little better. So let's do -mount and then USB. Okay, so we made a directory in the mount folder named USB. Okay, so we're going to mount this USB into the USB directory. So you can mount it anywhere you want, but this is what we're going to do here. Okay, so to do that, we do in the mount command, and then we do dev sbsdb1, and then we mount that into our USB directory here. And then we run a list block here. After we run that list block, see it wasn't there in the mount points. Now it's in the mount points in that new directory that we made. To unmount that, you do a umount and then the directory path here. Okay, let's run list block here. Okay, see now it's safe to remove now. It's not mounted, so make sure you unmount before you remove your USB in Linux. So you know, we gotta be responsible here. Okay, now more on managing text files. Okay, so let's dig into like a password list, and let's see if a certain password's in there. Okay, so to get that in Kali, it's in this directory here, user share word list, sec list, and let's see what we got in here. Passwords. Let's pick one here, because these are a bunch of password lists that you use for brute forcing. So brute forcing SSH or anything really. So there's a list of useful passwords here. So let's do like 2020 most used passwords. So we could do let's cat 2020 if I could spell 2022, and then we can grep. Let's see if anything with the word admin is in there. There is not. So that's interesting. If we could ignore the cases by doing a -i there. Still nothing. Okay. Let's do, how about we do let's do the xato.net. Let's do this real quick. See what we can find. Okay. That's more like it. Okay. So, we ignored the cases here. So it could be uppercase or lowercase. And we found quite a few passwords here in this password list here. If you want to kind of organize a little more, we can head the top 10 lines here. Or we can tail the bottom 10, like so. So this is everything with admin in the name. Okay, so some more managing text files. So you could do the more command. About this, there we go, more. Okay, this puts it in a pager view, so you can just space bar it to kind of dig around. The more popular one is less. Less is actually more. So let's go back into like citrix.txt here. Less. Nothing much in there. Let's do a better one. Less. Dark web 2017 top 10. Okay. There's your top 10 passwords in the darknet. Horrible passwords. And if we want to find files, we could do in this page review, we could do a question mark, ABC123. Okay, and then it's going to highlight that for us. So question mark, and then put the text in that you want to search for in the last page viewer. Okay. All right, to sort text files. Let's go back to our home directory here. Let's see. Let's go back to Playground. Okay. We got a fresh directory here. Let's make a file here. Let's see here. Touch file 1. Let's make file 1 here. And let's do like vim. Let's edit this file real quick just to kind of, this is just for demonstration purposes. Press I to insert. Okay. Okay, we'll go over vi a little bit later, but anyways, we got a file here. Let's cat that out, file 1. Okay, to sort through files, to get them in order, as we can see here, we made the file named file 1 here, and we want to sort that out. So we could do use the sort command here. And if you want to put that, output that into a file, we could do sort file 1, and then output that into sorted file. Okay, now we can cat the sorted file, and everything's pretty sorted. Okay, what if we want to remove the duplicates? So we could do unique sorted file, and then put in no dupes. Okay, so there we go. We remove the duplicates. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's some more text manipulation there for you guys. You can really do a lot with that. We're just doing basic mastering of the Linux terminal here. So, okay, moving on to Vim and Nano. Okay, these are the most popular text editors in Linux here. So for beginners, I recommend Nano. It's a good one. If you want to just make a new file, we could do Nano Peach right there. Okay, so it's pretty easy. Now we're in the pager view, so we could do I love peaches. Okay, so if you want to save that file, you do Control O to write, then press Enter, then Control X to exit. Then we can cat peach real quick. I love peaches. So that's a basic one. Okay, so that's how you manipulate text basically in Nano. Okay, next is Vim. Okay, so this one will get the ladies all over you. I'm telling you. Just like if you know Tmux and Vim, I mean they're just gonna be flocking all over you guys. Okay, so I know there's a bunch of arguments. You got your Vim lovers, your Nano lovers. I've been using Vim recently. I like it. More of a learning curve, but I'll just say the little basics of Vim here. So if we do Vim, we could do oranges. Okay, so this puts you in a pager view. You can't type really. There's just commands you can run right now. But to insert or to start typing something, you press the I key, and then you could just do like I love oranges. And then when you're finished with your text there, you press the escape key, and then the insert disappears from down here. And then to save that, you do colon, write, quit, WQ, and then exclamation mark if you want to kind of force it. You don't have to. And then that will write it and save it. And then if you just want to quit it, it's just the Q alone. So let's cat oranges there. I love oranges. Okay. So there's your basic, quick Nano and Vim little tutorial there. All right, next, searching for and filtering text with grep, awk, and cut. Okay, so these are some key commands for data manipulation, really dialing down into what you want to see. So let's start with grep here, super popular one. We kind of already showed you some grep examples, but we'll talk about it exclusively here for text manipulation. So we could do like a grep. Minus C is a popular one. Minus R. C is for the count, to count. And I is to ignore the cases. So first let's locate like a file that you'll probably want to use if you continue this series that we're kind of doing here. It's called rocku.txt. It's a password file here. So we got it right here. So let's go ahead and copy that. This is going to be on Kali only. So if you're on Ubuntu, you may not see this, but any file will do that's big and you want to search for words in that file. Okay, so we got that copied up with the Control Shift C. Let's go ahead and grep this. Let's pick out the count and let's ignore cases of anything with the word password in this folder here, this file here, rocku.txt. So let's see here. I say we got 4,690 the count with the word password in it. So let's see what they actually are. If you want to see that, we can remove the C and ignore cases here, and we got quite a few. Here's all the 4,690 passwords with the word password in it in this rocku.txt. So that's a pretty basic example of grep. All right, moving on to awk. Awk. Let's try awk out. So the format is to do a colon here, dash. It's a little more complicated. So we want to search for root. We have to add those forward slashes and then the path that you want to search in. Okay, shadow. And then let's just start with that. Okay, so here's root here. Anything with roots in this path, Etsy shadow. So we found this root here. And there is the shadow file. Remember what the shadow file is? It has all the users' passwords. So there is the root password right here, hashed out. Okay, so what if we want to add like a delimiter, like a colon? We got to specify delimiter with the F, with the -F here, so we can do awk. Like you can see, I kind of already did this, and then specify the delimiter, which is a colon here. As you see, a colon that separates the data in this little text snippet here. And then this next part, we're going to do a print $2 here. And what this is saying that we want the second one. All right, so here's the first one, here's the second one. So here we specify the delimiter, and we want to print out only the second one. So as we can see here was the first one. If we did $1, we would get root here. Here, I'll demonstrate that. See root, and then number 2, we're going to get the hash, and so on. Number 3, you're going to get this, and so on. So that's how you kind of manipulate the text. If you want to just snag that hash, and you can output that to a file here if you want, like root hash. So that'd be nice to have, right? So cat that out, root hash. So now we got our root hash stored up. We can pop that into John the Ripper or whatever, but make sure, like I said, this is not quite perfect. The $Y$, we would need to get rid of that as well. And then this is the actual hash for the root password here. Okay, another cool one if you want to get super fancy. All right, let's dig into something that, let's see, is Pity still in here? Let's go to documents. Let's see, hunting. Let's see, Pity. Let's see, let's cat this HTTP log here. Okay, it looks pretty nasty. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a crazy example. You don't have to follow along with this one, but let's just get the URI and this is a Zeke cut and Zeke with Rita. This is from a different video, but I'm just going to demonstrate the awk, what we can do with awk in this. But let me pretty up the data first, then I'll show you what we can do with awk real quick. So stand by. Okay. So that's a little prettier data. So let's just think. For example, I don't want to see all this Metro 91 stuff. What if I know that that's looks like it's a JPEG? This is a packet capture file, HTTP requests, just so you're aware. I know I kind of threw you guys off guard, but I'm just demonstrating the awk command here. So what if we want to remove anything that has Metro 91 in it? So if we want to do that, we could do awk -E on that, and then do a little if statement here. I know it's gonna get fancy, right? So if the second, I'll explain this once I'm kind of finished writing it out here, is not Metro 91. Okay, and then let's put like a little wild card on that, and then we're going to want to print $1, $2, $3, and then let's close that out. Okay, so this is going to show you everything. Okay, so remember this one. Okay, so for example, what if we don't want to see that? We want to get this out of there. I'm just showing you the power of awk. So what we're doing is on the second delimiter here. So here's our first one, and then here's the second one, and here's the number 3. They're delimited by a space here. So if the second one does not have Metro 91 or anything after, then print out this one, this section, and this section. So it's taking out all these Metro ones, all this garbage that we don't want to see. So, okay, that gets us this output right here without it. That's if you want to just take that text out. This is just to show you what awks can do. It's pretty fancy. You don't have to be this advanced yet, but you can run like if statements with awk. It's pretty crazy, guys. Okay, next one is cut. Moving on, so back to our Etsy shadow file here. Okay, Etsy shadow, and then let's grep for root. And then let's pipe that into the cut command. So the cut with the -D, we're going to specify the delimiter. Delimiter being the colon, remember, in that file. And then which field do we want? We want the second field, and that's going to get you the same kind of output that grep got you, but we're just demonstrating the cut command. So delimiter, colon, and then we want the second field. Remember, the first field was root, second field is the hash. So those are some examples of grep, aux, and cut. A lot more you can do with that, but just some basic examples and some fancy ones in there, thrown in there. Okay, moving on to RDP. How do we RDP? What is RDP? Remote Desktop Protocol. So maybe we want to remote desktop into a Windows machine, for example, or any machine really. To do that, I don't have one pulled up right now, but I'll just say the command here, rdesktop, and you can specify the IP if you want to of the remote host that you want to remote into. This is just a bogus IP. And then -U for the username. We could do like Johnny, and then password baseball or something like that. And that's pretty much the format that you would need to remote desktop into something. All right, next we're going into SSH. How to log in to a machine via SSH secure shell, via password, and via passwordless with the private and public key infrastructure passwordless method of SSHing into a host. So I'm going to have to spin up a Ubuntu 2022 server. I'm going to spin that up to practice our SSH configuration and how to SSH between the two. So stand by and let's get that going. Okay, here we are on the Ubuntu server. So we're going to start off by checking if they could talk to each other. The Kali machine and the Ubuntu machine. Can they talk to each other? So first we're going to start off by getting the IP of this machine here, this Ubuntu server, by running IP add. If I could type in here. Okay, IP add. Okay, that's going to give us the IP address of this Ubuntu machine here. We're going to look at the number 2, not the loopback. This one right here, and we can see 192.168.206.135. 206 or 130. Okay, let's go back into our Kali machine here. 206 or 135. Okay. 206.135. And let's see. So we're going to ping it 3 times. Let's see if we can talk to it. Okay. We got communication between the two. We're able to ping it. Next, we're going to try to SSH into it by running the SSH command, and then the account name was Peach. And then 192.168.206.135. Okay, password for Peach. Can we get in? Yes, we can. Who am I? I'm Peach. Okay. Sudo-L. What can I run? Everything. Okay, I got full privileges, remember? This tells you what privileges you have. What else do we want to find out? Let's do uname-a. That will find out information about the machine, the kernel version, and whatnot. So, as you can see, Ubuntu here. Okay, now let's see. Let's exit out of here. Let's see if we can get into root. So that would be good enough, you know. I mean, we have root privileges with the Peach account, but let's see if we can get into root here. SSH root at 192.168.206.135. Okay, let's see if we can get in here. Okay, permission denied. I wonder why. Okay, so permission denied. This may be a configuration file. By default, you cannot SSH into root. So it's just a security default setting. I would recommend keeping that off, honestly. But for demonstration and learning purposes, we're going to learn how to switch that back on. Maybe you have write privileges. You know, you're doing a pen test. You see that file, that SSHD, for whatever reason, it's writable with the account you have. So that can give you the ability to change the SSH configuration. So we're going to dig back go back over to our Ubuntu machine and let's look into that config file and make some changes. Okay, here we are back. Here we are back on the Ubuntu server. So let's modify that config file. The way to do that is we're gonna use Vim editor. So most servers all have Vim, so that's why you need to learn Vim. Nano might not always be there. So okay, so we're gonna Vim into etc ssh underscore config. Oh, that's not the one. Hang on. :quit :q to get out of that. It's sshd underscore config. Okay. And if we scroll down here, as we can see right here, permit root login prohibit password. So that's not even set. So let's go ahead and set that. Like I said, in production, you probably not want to do this. This is a lab, so demonstration purposes only. Okay. So please don't do this in production. All right. So permit root login, yes. Escape key, : W, Q, write, quit. And we can't write. We don't have privileges. Okay. So let's go back over here. So we need to run the sudo command here. Sudo vim etc sshd underscore config. Okay, now we can edit this. So I to edit to insert. Let's get that off of there. Let's say yes right here, and then take that hashtag off. Press escape : WQ. Okay, that's all written. So now we need to restart the service. Okay, after you make configuration changes, we need to restart the SSH service. Okay, so to do that, we do service SSH restart. Okay, we need we need privileges for that. So sudo service SSH restart. Okay, and then to check the status of that, we can do SSH status. Okay, so it's active, it's loaded, looking good. Okay, now, all right, we restarted the service. Now let's go back over to our Kali machine and see if we can log in with root. Okay, back on the Kali machine here. Same command, just press up on the keyboard. Let's see if we can get in. And we are in as root. Who am I? Okay, we're root. Awesome. Okay, so that is how you change up the SSH configuration to allow a root account to log in. Like I said, highly recommend not doing that. Okay, so that's password SSH. Let's dig into passwordless with the public and private keys. So to do that, let's go back over to our Ubuntu server. Okay, let's clear this up. Okay, first we need to generate the SSH key with this command SSH keygen, and then let's give it a certain algorithm, RSA, and then let's do -B 4096. Okay, let's do that. That's fine right there. Yes. Empty for no passphrase because we're passwordless. Okay, so we should be all set up there. Okay, next we need to copy this ID, the public key, to the Kali machine. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that with SSH copy ID username. Before we do that, let's go back to the Kali machine because we may have to do some SSH configuration on that machine. So let's go back over there. Okay, here we are. Let's exit out of this session here. Okay, so same deal like on the Ubuntu server. Let's vim the sshd config there. Okay, let's insert permit root login, yes, and then let's get rid of that hashtag. That we're doing this because we're trying to log into root from that Ubuntu. Okay, all right, so we got that done. Let's get the IP while we're here. So IP add. And here it is, 206.130. Okay, 206.130. Remember that. Okay, so root 206.130. Okay, all right. So we're doing this, and the password for root. Oh, I think I know what we did. We did not restart the service on the Kali machine. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oh my gosh, so much flip-flopping around, aren't we? Okay. All right, so we do service. After we make config changes, you gotta restart the service. SSH restart. And then check status of that. Okay, looking good there. Okay, now let's go back over to the Ubuntu server. Okay, there we go. Okay, number of keys added 1. Now you're trying to log into the machine. Now let's try to log in with SSH root at 192.168.206.330. Are we in? We are in, guys. Who am I? Okay, and this is it, guys. Here's our shell. We got the shell, root shell, into Kali via passwordless SSH. So, whew, that was quite the process, but that's how it's done, guys. Okay, so, all right. Hey, congratulations. You may need to take a little break after that one. After the little break, we're gonna be digging into something else. Okay, so short break. All right, everybody, welcome back from your break. I hope it was lovely, or if you didn't take a break at all, then let's get back into it. Okay, we got a few cleanup things to do after that. You know, we want to set our permit root back to off or prohibit password. So let's go ahead and go back to that file, the SSH config file there, and press I to insert. Let's put the hashtag back on there. That'll turn it off, but let's just put it back to where it was. Prohibit password. I think that was it. Prohibit. Let me insert that. Prohibit password. Okay, there we go. And do the same on your Ubuntu server. Okay, so yeah, just a little cleanup. Okay. All right, moving on. What are we doing? Okay, so the next command is uname. We kind of already talked about it, but it'll tell you kernel version information, machine information, Debian flavor, stuff like that. So, okay, CPU info. Okay, we're gonna do a cat proc and then CPU info. Everything is a file in Linux, if you haven't noticed already. Okay, so here's our CPU info. We got a genuine Intel. Okay, CPU info, guys. That's how you found it in the proc CPU info. Cat that out. It'll let you know. Okay. All right. So let's dig into some memory info. Way to do that. Cat proc mem info. Okay. Remember Control A left bracket when you're in tmux to page it out. So that's how you found some memory information. That could be useful. Display attached disk. That's the next command. We're gonna do fdisk-l. Okay, here's our attached disk. We did take the USB out, so that's why we don't see the SDB. But yeah, remember SDA, the A. Then this means it's all the same drive, but these numbers are different partitions. Okay, so be sure to remember that. Okay, let's see. List USB info. You could do the ls USB command. Not that much going on here. Just some information about our hubs, virtual hubs. Okay, moving on. And any mounted directory, you can run the mount command. Okay. All right, now we kind of already did this when we were messing around with services with the SSH, but just to recap on that, use the service command to manipulate the services. So you can do like, let's see if Apache's even on here. Service Apache 2, let's start that. Then you can also do a status on that. Okay, Apache 2 is running. So Apache is a HTTP server, as you can see here. So that's running right now. And then if you want to stop that, you can run the stop command. You can also do a systemctl status Apache 2. So it's good to know both of these, especially it's probably better just to know the service one because that's an older one. Systemctl is a little newer. They both do the same thing, just a little bit different in the order there. So it'd be service name, and then what you want to do to it, as opposed to systemctl is service, what you want to do to it, and then the actual service, or systemctl
what you want to do to the service, and then the actual service. So that is some service manipulation. Okay, some package management, stuff like that. So the config file for the Kali repo, that's going to be in the Etsy apt folder here. They'll let me go there. Etsy apt, Etsy apt folder, and then the source list. This is where all your repos are. So when you run like apt update, apt upgrade, it's looking into these repositories to upgrade your Kali. So you can add more to these if you want to add different things to your machine. So, I mean, Linux, the sky's the limit with the customization. So that's an important file to know about. The sources list there. Okay, so to upgrade your machine here or update your machine here, you can just run this, your most basic kind of command in Linux here. Apt update -y, just say yes to everything, and then you can we could do an upgrade on that as well. Okay, this might take a little bit. Maybe it's been a while since I've upgraded, so stand by. Okay, it looks like the updates are done 10 minutes later. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, moving on. Obviously, I needed to upgrade. Okay, yeah, it's been a while. Okay, so to list your packages, list installed software. Excuse me. To list your installed software, do the dpkg-l, and that will list what is installed on this machine. Quite the list here. Spacebar to kind of dig through them. So dkms, if you want to do like this, and then you can grep out dk, anything with dk in it, just to kind of smush up your results a little bit with the grep command. Okay, grep's a hero. He really helps you out. Okay, moving on to installing packages. You can do that with the apt install command, and like you can install like Ferox Buster. It's a directory brute forcing tool. If you don't have that, recommend getting that, but we will get there later. Like I already have it, it's already there. So, but that is how you would install software on this machine here. Okay, Control L to clear that up. Okay, moving on. Okay, to remove software, you can do apt remove. So let's remove Ferox Buster. Actually, looks like we got an issue. It's good to read these things, actually. You might want to run apps fix broken to install. Okay. So I recommend reading the error messages. Some people don't read the error messages. It's amazing. Some of the questions I get when the answer is right in front of them. So make sure you're reading that. It's there for a reason, okay? So we're going to let this get fixed up here, and we'll be right back. Okay, that's all finished up now. Now let's go up, and let's see if we can remove this thing. Okay, see, now we can remove it. Do you want to continue? No, I don't. I want to keep Ferox, but that's how you'd press Y to continue, and that would remove the software. Okay. Okay, so process management. Let's dig into process management. Okay, there's a really cool tool I want to install that the book talked about. So let's go ahead and do that. App install htop, and let's tack a Y on there. Just say yes to everything. Looks like it's already installed, the newest version. Okay, so if we run htop here, it's going to show all your processes. If you got lots of load from a process, it gives you lots of information. There's a ton of commands in here and things that you can look into and tweak and stuff. I won't dig too much into it, but it's pretty much just a process viewer to see what's taking up all your CPU memory. It's kind of like Task Manager in Windows. Really cool. Let's dig out of this. Press Q to quit that. Another popular command is PS, and then we'll do all. Oh, hang on. PS AUX. Okay, let's Control A, left bracket to page up. So this is going to give you information about the processes. A for all processes, and then you can grep that if you want to. So let's see. I got a Firefox running. Let's see if I can just grep this and look for like Firefox. Okay, see, we got a couple processes that are Firefox. So, okay, moving on to killing processes. What is something we want to kill? Let's like pull up gedit to demonstrate this. Gedit, okay. Okay, so we have a gedit process running. So let's go over here and grep for gedit. Okay, there's gedit. So if we want to kill that process, what is it? 10.5.1.6.3. Okay, and that's how you kill that process from the command line. And try that without the -9. The -9's like not very graceful kill. Like it's gonna kill it right off the bat, no matter what. So if you want to gracefully kill it, start with like a kill and then the process number first. And if that doesn't work, sometimes you gotta be a little more forceful with the -9 there. It's the most intense kill. Okay, networking and Kali. Okay, so you're going to find your interfaces in this folder right here in the Etsy network interfaces. Actually, let's just go here first and see what we got. Interfaces. So in this file, interfaces, you could check like static IP addressing, what's being used for DHCP and whatnot. So this is a good file to learn, or good, file to know about in Linux. Most of them are running Network Manager these days, so we won't be digging into that. But to view like your interfaces, if config is the classic one. So this is going to be all your interfaces. We got two, our local loopback. This is the one we want to focus on, our ETH. This is what gets us to the internet here. Here's our IP address, our subnet mask, broadcast address. We got a MAC address somewhere in here. There's an IPv6. And here's our MAC address right here, layer 2 address right there. So some good information there. And you already saw the one from earlier, the IP add. That's another one. It's a little more modern, a little more newer. So that's another way to pull up that information. Okay, another good command. Actually, let's dig into DNS now. Okay, so DNS. So DNS, we could do host google.com, or let's do like host github.com. Okay, you can see what it's handled by. It's an IP address. Okay, another good network command is netstat. With the switches, we'll do A for display all sockets, N for numeric, do not resolve the names of the IPs, T for TCP, and then U for UDP. Okay, so we can see all our established connections. It looks like we got a connection here. It's going outbound on 443 HTTPS. So it looks like some web traffic here. It's established right now. I think it's something going on with Firefox right now. And we got another one here. What is that, our gateway maybe? So this is a very useful command in cybersecurity. Recommend holding this one in your heart. Very useful, netstat, to view established connections. Okay, there's a few ways to download a file from the internet. You have two options, wget and curl. I'll show you the wget one. So say you're kind of digging around in GitHub. You're gonna be, if you're going to be in pen testing, you're probably going to be on GitHub a lot. So I found this, there's a sublister tool here. I read about the tool. It looks pretty cool. So say if I want to get this setup.py here, or Python script here. We can click on that, go to raw. We can grab this URL, copy that, Control C. And let's wget that, Control Shift V on that. And actually, we don't want to put that in the network folder. Let's go over here in our play. So let's do wget. Okay, so that's going to just download that setup.python file, Python script here, straight up. So that's one way to download files from the internet from the command line. Another way is git cloning. So if we go back here, if we want to git clone all of these, so we can go here, click on code, copy this git.com link, and then we can do git clone. That's 2 words, and then Control-Shift-V to get sublester in this folder here. Okay, so that's wget and git clone. Super useful. You're gonna be using those everywhere, all the time. So I think that should be it, guys. That is chapter 1. I know that was a lot to cover, a lot to go over. Is this the end-all, be-all for the Linux command line? No, it's not. But that's going to take months and maybe years to really get comfortable with it. This is just, I'm cramming it in as fast as I possibly can into one video of this chapter 1 on the Kali Linux Penetration Bible book, Mastering the Terminal Window. Like I said, not the end-all, be-all of Linux terminal. You really got to dig in and practice, get your hands on the keyboard, running these commands. Figuring out how to look up information about these commands is super useful too. So if you just do like a man wget here, and then you can, from this man page, it's the manual pretty much, how to run commands, knowing about switches. So you can just do like a question mark, -A. That's not in there. Are there any dashes, like a -D or anything? No. No patterns. But if you want to search in these, in this man page, you press the question mark and then you just type a keyword like follow, and it's going to be highlighted in yellow here. And you can just press N for the next one, and that's really all with the word follow. So, so man wget's good. Spacebar to kind of scroll around. So yeah, you can do -B to get kind of where you want to go quickly. It's kind of messy, these man pages, so knowing how to search through them is very key to saving a lot of time. So anyways, guys, hopefully that gets you guys started with the terminal window in Linux. Super important to know these skills. So I hope you learned a lot. I know there's a lot. I'm not perfect. I'm still kind of learning myself and reviewing myself. So like I said, I hope that was helpful. And if you got any questions, put them down below. And yeah, you guys get your hands on the keyboard. Okay, super key, guys. Like I said, the Holy Trinity: Linux, Windows, and networking. So if you want to get into cybersecurity, you got to know these things. Okay. So anyways, thanks for watching this. And like I said, any questions, put them down below. And on to chapter 2. I look forward to it. Chapter 2 is going to be bash scripting. So get excited. It's going to be a fun one. All right, take care, buddies. Stay safe out there. Much love.